but the whole state of Mississippi. I've gone and shut down these beer belly sheriffs in South Carolina and Mississippi. We're asking for the whole state. If we're going to stay here, then take the state of South Carolina. It's there for us. Take the state of Mississippi. It's there for us. But we have to take it for us. If we can't find peace on the land, you can't find justice in the court, then I'm not a Dr. King. I'm not prepared to go along to get along, but I am prepared to go and take our state because this is my land. I'm a big-blooded Cherokee, and I'm telling you straight up, we must take our land back. No good, filthy, low-down, dirty white man who took our land. He didn't just take the land. What he did was he made a treaty for the land. Came in and said, well, we just want to hunt a few buffalo, plant some corn. And Chief said, no, just go. He said, well, we're going to die, Chief, if we don't get a little food, nourishment. We just want a few head of that bison, get you some buffalo and some corn, and then go. They made the agreement, made the treaty, good. They left. But they returned. See, that's what Marion Barry teaches me. Political scientists, my chemical scientists taught me that they come first time to set you up. They come back the second time, they come to take what you have, especially when you don't think consciously that you have something. They come to take what you have. If you see them in the third round, they're coming back to kill you. So when he came back, the program in the Puritan, with more guns, and massacred as many as he could to take the land. This is a true story. Massacred many of my ancestors' blood. Ain't no cracker name, he ain't got no name like Pontiac, and Potomac, Kentucky, Illinois, all of them. It's my name. That's my blood ancestors. He don't have no name like, he has no blood on his soil unless he had in the last 250 years, according to him. I have 1,000 years. Every historian on this planet, I claim my heritage of 1,000 years on the soil plus, and some say up to 10,000 years on the soil. You look at those privileges. So we claim our exercise. We have the authority in the land, but it's not authority you exercise. We have potential on land. Potential until you exercise. The fullness against your open enemy, your adversary. I'll land my plane right there. Black Power, I'm glad to see you, Jackson. We can team up and to put the work in. It's a work that's going to be the key. Black Power.
Black Power.
Black Power. I wasn't. I've noticed that I didn't have my mic on, so I started a video. We're only 2 minutes in, but I think we have Burkina Faso and Washington D.C. on. I have contacts in Houston that I think are reliable. I think because of the timing, a lot of the people who are in the group who are in Africa didn't show up. So I don't know, like maybe behind the scenes, we can try to get an agenda as far as what we want to do with the continent. Maybe we put an agenda together because sometimes, a lot of the times, actually, the people who come to America and they're straight from Africa, they have a different agenda, especially towards assimilation. But the people on the continent might be more open to, hey, you have a human rights issue, we have a human rights issue, let's work together. But once they get to that USA processing center and they salute the flag, it might be a wrap as far as collaboration. So I think we have to put a written agenda together about what we want to do. Personally, I would put on the table ID cards. For self-government, we have to have be able to ID people. That goes on with everything we talk about, economics and cultural reorientation, all that stuff that we need to do. But ID cards, I would put that on as an underrated item. I've heard export, import. I've heard stock market training, and we put a lot of things on the table. Kwanzaa, Juneteenth that just passed. So there's a lot on the table that we just have to say, this is what we need to execute, or this is what we need to do, and this is what we need to execute. As far as self-defense training, I'm not sure. In Jacksonville, self-defense training, I know the Fred Hampton Gun Club does it. I think it's one sister that's been reliable over the years, or she came out of retirement recently, but we don't really have an active self-defense leadership. that's active right now. I think there's a brother in Tampa, the Panthers of Florida. They have their own regiment and structure, but nothing on the ground in Jacksonville that I know of. Actually, there is a one group. I think the Occupy group. Occupy. They're like a real estate group. Oh, they do some things in Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida, as far as training, self defense. But I think
Quite a
I,
few of them over there in Georgia and Florida.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said there's a brother chairman Robert in I think
Tampa.
Tampa Bay, and then a few more around Georgia, Low Georgia, and High Florida. There's quite a few, but they just got and we just got to organize. A lot of them are headed for Mississippi as well. We got to look at that and see what it takes to bring us all together and try to be the good chef and bring us all together.
Yeah, Mississippi is now everybody around society is saying that Mississippi is our family tree. Is that they have family roots tracing back to Mississippi when they had to kill a a Ku Klux Klan member, then they left. But everybody's saying can agree that their roots is in Mississippi. A lot of people, so a lot of people are now starting to organize around Mississippi, like we called for months and years. But Jackson, Mississippi, is like the key to the whole state and the whole area, where there might be 10 million black people across a couple metropolitan areas. So everybody's already organized around Jackson, Mississippi. We have the Gullah Geechee corridor between Jacksonville, Florida, and the Carolinas. So we have networks here that we can activate, and then I think we need DC, which is where you would come in, Sheikh Akbar, and we have some Caribbean contacts, especially in Jacksonville, Florida. When we start to organize and reach out, we have governments that would are in the Caribbean that might want to lend their resources and partner and discuss uh, what Jacksonville, Florida, and the Gullah Geechee corridor, and what we can all do officially as a government and as grassroots people, what we can do. So this is just like a preliminary, and I'm glad that you hopped on, Sheikh Imam Akbar, because now we have an ambassador for Burkina Faso and the Sahel Alliance. You guys have sat down with their government, and we have a DC
Yes,
present.
sir.
So the brother Malik Austin is
That's true.
he's connected to the AME Church and the Nation of Islam. So we have a strong base here in Florida. I have more people I could reach out to, but this is a brother that I think is most professional as far as he'll take notes and he'll reach out and he'll communicate. But I don't know if there's any follow up to what people would want me to do or what we think the next steps are. But I have more contacts mostly in Florida.
Forward right now. I'm gonna get it
Uh,
ready. Focus on that.
I don't know. Go ahead.
One thing I want to add, can we draw up an import export nautical map from Mississippi's seaports to the west coast of Africa? If we're talking about doing international trade and commerce, I think it starts with seeing the vision. Whether we could, doctor up AI to maybe get that picture or image for us, but we got to start seeing the vision of doing import export from the motherland directly to Mississippi.
Yes, brother. I use Chat GPT nowadays, and I think there was some. I used to use an app called Gemini AI, but the way Chat GPT works, it stores your information. I think it's connected to U.S. military, but it's basically like a Google search. So what you just asked, you would type it in, and then it's like a Google search, and it'll ask you. You could type in like JPG flyer or JPG image or something like that, and I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself specifically because that's a good idea. But in the future, just for anybody watching or wants to know, That's how I picture it. Like Google, it's like Google. You ask a question, and
Wait, I sport this one. Everything. Yeah.
so I think this was a good call. I think we have to stay in contact with DC. Um, my one disappointment is that I wasn't able to come earlier, and I think the contacts in Africa would have picked up.
I'm thinking
Um,
I'm gonna put
but
you
maybe
see how you
I have to focus on that, trying to get them on call more consistently or earlier. So I'll try my best, or I'll try to figure out a solution because I just get
and
off work
Ken
and I'm tired.
shoulder pad.
But
You know
I'll
what
try and
they
get them.
used to say in the '60s. The Panthers, I'm pretty sure Imam can speak on this. Imam, they used to say revolution is the only solution.
Revolution is the only solution.
Exactly.
That's true. Simple and true. Yep, simple and true. So maybe I need to have more. Yeah, I think it's actually midnight, maybe even 1 o'clock in Nigeria. Might be 7 hours ahead, so I'm not surprised they didn't pick up. So I don't know if one solution might be someone else to try to take the calls, or we have a special forum where we or try to establish. I don't know the solution that or this next step that the brother uh, Malik had suggested is drop a map of import export. Um,
Also includes stops in the Caribbean islands and along the corridor on the East Coast.
Stops on the east. Okay, from Mississippi to west coast of Africa, or Mississippi.
Yes, sir. From Mississippi to the west coast of Africa, including the east coast of the United States and the Caribbean islands, on the way to the motherland.
Export import visuals. Yeah, I just seen the African free continental free trade area is going to be proposed, that the Caribbean is included in the free trade area by Ghana. The Ghanaian president said he's going to be the African Union chairman, and he's going to try to reorganize everything to include the Caribbean. So now the next logical step is how can Black America be part of this import export? And there's so few organizations that include Black America. Um, Even though we know the famous ones like the AME Church, NOI, it's a lot of Black people do not belong to an organization where they could just participate. A lot of it would have to go through the U.S. government, and which is unlikely. So, um, yeah, we have to do a lot of organizing, or strategically see how we can organize the best. Um, right now, I'm seeing the issue might be getting the right contacts in Africa on the call at the same time as people in USA. Um, import export. Okay, I'll see what I can do as far as people who could pick up that. I feel the Liberia contact might be good at that, but I don't know if politics is involved. Import export hmm, import export. Even the vice president of the Black Chamber of Commerce in Jacksonville, Florida, said they're ready to invest in import export and do whatever it takes. That was months ago. Up till now, I don't have a contact that specializes in import and export. So I don't know. That might be something where we have to sit down with the embassies in DC. Maybe DC can do that for us, where they negotiate that, or we can try to seek out organizations in Jacksonville, Florida, from Nigeria and from those countries, and sit down with them and say how we're going to do the import export. Um, we have the Organization of African Unity, or the African Union of Florida. It's a grassroots imitation of the African Union in Florida, and we have We have a lot of organizations where if they're from Africa or the Caribbean, they're going to have, the government, the government operatives or agencies that can work with us. So they're official. If they immigrated, they have a government agency or organization, and or both. They'll have a government context to facilitate these things. So it's just a initial discussion, and we say we're going to focus on import and export. We're going to draw up a map and visualize it. I think that's a good place to stop. But I think that's a good place to stop, in my opinion. We have to focus on import export, and other things will come about. I don't know if there's anything else other people want to say, or would you want to conclude there? Or
If you ask me, I think that's good to conclude. It's been a 30-minute call, almost 30-minute call.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
and
maybe like
also
one more maybe like one more comment from everybody,
I would
just
I
to
would I would
keep
comment
it
that
full 30 minutes.
I would comment that Burkina Faso, the ambassador Akbar, I don't know if they have the capacity to negotiate that for us. What can Burkina Faso? Because they sat down with the government of Burkina Faso and they got access to all the embassies in DC. Maybe should we plan a trip to DC and sit with the governments directly, or can we get that import export or any conversations going where we're traveling to DC regularly? That's another thing. If we can finance ourselves to travel, I know there's a Mississippi group as well, and they specifically asked us for a pilgrimage.
Am
I
I
forgot
correct
about
if I
that.
make that statement?
Go ahead.
Is Washington D.C. on the coast of the United States?
Uh, it's not on
Do
the
they have a
coast.
seaport?
It's a little bit inland. No, it's in the DMV. It's basically Maryland, Virginia. I think Virginia. I don't know. I don't think. I think Virginia is on the coast, but I'm not sure about DC. I think it's within Baltimore. I mean, it's within Maryland, but it's its own autonomous city. So, but basically, it's not on the coast like Jacksonville. It's more inland, but they have all the embassies that would, all the governments in the world that deal with export and import go to Washington D.C. So it's it's a place where even I think this it's an autonomous city. It has its own representative. Uh-oh. DC has its own representatives for Congress. There's a congressional representative, and for U.S. African Americans in DC or DC in general. And there's also a U.S. Virgin Islands um, congressional representative. So there's a lot we have to do, but I don't know if that's just my final thoughts. The brother gave us the recommendations, and we'll implement them like as soon as the call gets ended. We'll talk about import export and creating a visual for it, which is simple enough. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about before we conclude or end the call? Nope. All right. I'll end the call right now, brothers. Thank you. All right. God bless. Black Power.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
God bless.
you.
Thank you.
God
Black
bless
Power.
you.